It's a very warm welcome to you indeed from the SSE Hydro in Glasgow and the European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Last weekend saw a brilliant couple of days of women's artistic gymnastics and a superb atmosphere here in the SSE Hydro, so now it's the turn of the men. Following Thursday's programme of qualification routines, we now have 8 finalists for the men's team competition, performing for your entertainment and for a few medals here and there. It's approaching 1 p.m. local time in Glasgow, and there is a great sense of excitement about this final. The Russian Federation are the defending European champions. 3 of their 2016 squad are back as Russia go for 3 in a row. Despite having some real issues on the high bar on Thursday, they still top the qualification process. But what of the second highest qualifiers, Great Britain? They have 6 in their squad, 5 gymnasts joined by the Glasgow crowd, who'll be roaring them on and hoping to see Great Britain match their title win from 6 years ago. But don't count out Germany, the third highest qualifiers. They have a hugely experienced collection of gymnasts, including double Olympic medalist Marcel Nguyen. Switzerland will also provide a threat. Their balanced squad contains old hands and exciting new talents. And wherever you're watching from, do raise a toast to Turkey, who have qualified in 5th place for their first ever European team final, and my, have they worked for it. So what do we know for certain about how this final will go? Not much really, except that it's going to be an awful lot of fun. It's lovely to have your companionship wherever in the world you're watching things from. Hope you're joining, standing up and getting ready to join in the welcome of the gymnasts out onto the field of play. If you're new to the way that team competition works in artistic gymnastics, up to 5 gymnasts are in a team. 3 compete on each of the 6 pieces of apparatus: the floor, the vault, the pommel horse, the rings, the parallel bars and the horizontal bar. It can be the same 3 gymnasts on each, it can be any combination. An individual gymnast can do all 6 pieces, or they can compete on none and just be a reserve, and anything in between. That's all up to the coach and the decisions that they might choose to make. And some of the coaches have made little adjustments after qualification, made a couple of changes here and there. Some teams that you'll see are very balanced, with every gymnast doing roughly the same number of pieces. Others feature one gymnast doing all 6, another just doing 1 or 2. It's all the fun of the fair as far as the rules go for team competition. And we are about 30 seconds away from the entry of the gymnasts into the hydro, and there's been a wonderful sense of theatricality about that process. And Great Britain are the first team to come out, so it's going to be even noisier than it was last week for the women's competition. What great fun it's going to be at the start of this weekend of finals action in the European Championships of Men's Artistic Gymnastics. Let's get things underway and meet the teams.
This is the men's team final. Please welcome the gymnasts. Starting on floor, James Hall, Max Whitlock, Dominic Cunningham, Joe Fraser, and Courtney Tulloch. Team Great Britain. Nikita Nagoni, Artur Dalaloyen, David Belilovsky, Nikolai Kuksentov, Dmitry Lankin. This is the Russian Federation. Starting on pommel horse, Henny Mboyo, Benjamin Gisha, Oliver Hegi, No Samuel Seafeld, and Taha Serani, Team Switzerland. Andreas Tuba, Nick Klesse, Marcel Nguyen, Andreas Brettschneider, and Niels Dunkel, Team Germany. Starting on rings, Loris Frasca, Julien Cabot, Axel Ogis, Cyril Thomasson, and Edgar Boulay, Team France. Ferhat Arichan, Ahmet Onder, Ümit Samiloglu, Ibrahim Çolak, and Emre Gündoğdu, Team Turkey. Starting on vault, Tommaso De Vecchis, Ludovico Idali, Marco Lodadio, Marco Sargerio, Andrea Russo, Team Italy. Nicolau Mir, Alberto Talon, Nestor Abad, Tierno Diallo, and Ridley Zapata, Team Spain. These are the gymnasts for the men's team final.
Well, that was all a lot of good fun, wasn't it? The introduction of the gymnasts and a marvellous hydro arena. So this is the way it's going to be, starting with Great Britain and the Russian Federation on floor. Switzerland, Germany will begin on the pommel horse, France and Turkey on the still rings, Italy and Spain on the vault. The parallel bars and the horizontal bar will come into play later on. These 8 teams always stay in pairs, so the top 2 qualifiers will stay together. They'll go around the competition together. Great Britain will have James Hall, Max Whitlock and Dominic Cunningham representing them on the floor exercise. Starting on the pommel horse for Switzerland, Benjamin Guichard, Oliver Hegi and Noah Samuel Seifert.
All of our 8 teams will perform on each of the 6 apparatus.
It is France who will reach for the still rings with Loris Frasca, Axel Ogis and Julien Gobot.
Scores counting, so there is no room for error. The gymnasts have been seeded for qualification, but there is no carryover.
Italy will seek to vault ahead of the competition through Andrea Russo, Marco Sargerio and Marco Lodadio.
The gymnasts just have 30 seconds per competitor. It's a couple of minutes or so to
Other gymnasts waiting in the wings. The British team, the second highest qualifiers, and they do boast the Olympic champion on this piece of apparatus, Max Whitlock, who had some troubles, particularly with his flares in the qualification process. It'll be interesting to see how he approaches this exercise.
With Great Britain in second.
France begin on the rings, which was their weakest piece in the qualification process, the 6th highest qualifiers. Perhaps they'll be pleased to get it out of the way, or be pleased to go back and attack it and do better. Gymnasts have all been having a little touch warm-up time, and that will be pretty soon giving way to competition time. Andrea Russo, the first to go on vault in this competition. 21-year-old Andrea Russo, like most of the Italian squad, based in Rome. He was in the Mediterranean Games, but this is his first European competition. He was part of the Italian team that finished 5th in the Junior Euros 4 years ago. Really promising and emerging talent, and there are a few of those making their way through into the Italian setup. Some fantastic junior gymnastics going on in Italy at the moment. They've done really well in both the women's and men's competition. Took a bronze in the junior men's team yesterday, and Niccolo Mozzato took a gold in the individual all-around. Every score counts in this competition, and that's not the start that the Italians needed. Can't discard anything though. Andrea Russo will want to discard that memory. Just didn't get the takeoff or the connection right at all. But you don't need me to tell you that. Good bit of coaching, and he's straight out there and arresting his fall further. James Hall, 22-year-old, born in Bankstown in New South Wales, now spends most of his time in and around Kent. And a really emerging and exciting talent. Took the all-around bronze in the European Championships last year. He did have some issues on the floor in qualification with one of his tumbling sequences. All going very smoothly thus far. Just got that round, little step to the side. Now we'll move into the Russian vendor swing. Gymnasts have to show stability. A wide arm handstand, the most popular way of doing that. A little bit more difficulty keeping the arms diagonally. Very secure start from James Hall, very secure start from Great Britain, very secure start from the crowd as well. A look back at Andrea Russo, and didn't get a score. Didn't manage to complete the vault. Tough one that for Italy to begin. Oliver Heggie, Swiss gymnast on the pommel horse. At a 13.466 on the pommel horse in qualifying. Starting with the scissor work. The gymnast has to use every part of the apparatus, all three sections. Just needs to keep the legs together, avoid brushing the handles. He's being well and truly roared on from the sidelines, Oliver Heggie. He does well. Secure first display from the Swiss. nervous wait for James Hall for his score. And indeed for Oliver Heggie. 13.7 for James Hall. That's a 0.4 increase on qualification, so a really positive start for the second highest qualifiers.
Next on floor for Great Britain, this is Max Whitlock.
Max Whitlock, part of the British team that won the team gold in 2012, and also the double Olympic gold medalist from Rio on this piece of apparatus. That's real amplitude. It's a really difficult sequence to control. Rapid twisting. And just had to come up from quite a low entry point to the landing. Judges will notice that. This is where Max Whitlock had some difficulties. His flare work. Looked significantly better than qualification. Stylish, now showing the control in the handstand. Little breath out from Britain's most successful Olympic gymnast, and he will be very, very pleased with that display. 13.6 in qualifying, Whitlock, that likely to boast a better result. High fives and handshakes all around. Oliver Heggie with a 14.133. Really good score for Switzerland. They took a fantastic bronze medal at their home championships in Bern 2 years ago. First ever team medal. And that's the way to get things moving. Now that anxious moment where the gymnast has to watch on as the rest of the team goes. He looks in good cheer, Max Whitlock. We go to Marco Sergerio, a 21-year-old from Italy on the vault. Having some troubles on the vault, Italy. Big low step and stumble out of bounds. .933 for Sergerio. It was Italy's weakest piece in qualification, the vault. Could be some costly scores coming in. Marco Lodadio. It's very, very big height, very powerful work. Packing a lot into the apex of the vault. Just struggling to stabilise the landing. Just really bring the legs up and out for the tuck. Puts the hand down on the landing, and when the hand goes down, that can be costly. Axel Ogis, French gymnast who is a real ring specialist. He does him well with this service. He's doing an awful lot of work in this competition. Nice and wide splits in the straddle planche. Goes back into that straddle planche position. A little wobble on the handstand, but the feet very together. Stable landing from Axel Ogis. 27-year-old who's well used to representing his country. 14.366. It's a big score for Max Whitlock. Much higher than qualification of 13.6.
Next floor, representing Great Britain, Dominic Cunningham.
Dominic Cunningham, the final gymnast to compete on the floor for Great Britain. Cunningham was the strongest performer in qualifying with a 14.366. Starts well. Super height and really managed to control that landing. Nice variety shown. Here's tumbling. Gymnasts have to have different entry points. Can't use the same diagonal more than twice. Show control though. Work low to the floor. The Russian vendor swing. The judges will look to see how tightly controlled the centre of the swing is. Good body form on the handstand. It's been a very positive spell on the floor for Great Britain. Dominic Cunningham says, "Come on, Glasgow." Let's have a little noise. They do tend to respond well to that in the Hydro Arena. 13.233 for Marco Laudadio. Tough start to the competition for Italy. 13.133 for Axel Ogis on rings. Julien Gobot, 27-year-old from Soissons in the north of France, with the Maltese. Controlled height position. If you're new to watching men's artistic gymnastics, always worth bearing in mind the rings are a unique piece. They're the only apparatus that moves. The little wobbles and adjustments get noticed by the judges and contribute to deductions. Nice dismount, breath out from Julien Gobot. France, the 6th highest qualifiers. The rings were not their strongest piece. 14.6 for Dominic Cunningham. And that's an improvement on his score, which was Britain's best in qualification. It's also their best in the final. But all of the British gymnasts have improved, so the pressure will now go on the Russian team. And they've got some pretty spectacular floor work to come. It's very, very exciting. Noah Seifert turns 20 in October. The junior bronze team from 2016, one of the great gymnasts coming through, just losing his legs a little bit. If you're new to watching the pommel horse, I was about to say, when the legs start to go, then the gymnast often loses their momentum, but I was rather beaten to the punch by Seifert. Quick rotation of the hands, so difficult. And the judges look to see that the legs are straight, the toes pointed. Full mark if you come off the apparatus. It's a really nice way for Seifert to get back on and really hit those Thomas flares. Just a little hesitation going into his dismount, but otherwise stable. 12.066, the deduction for falling off for Seifert. 13.5, Julien Gobot. Exactly the score that Gobot got in qualification on the rings. And this is the rather lovely space that we're looking out over at the hydro. And now the switch around, so the pairs rotate. Italy step back and watch Spain compete on vault. Nesta Abad is first to go. Very stable vault from Nesta Abad, lovely work. Great gymnast, 3 times Mediterranean Games gold medalist. He's twice torn his knee ligaments and come fighting back. Really great gymnast of considerable spirit. That will do very nicely indeed for the Spanish to begin. The highest qualifiers, the Russian Federation. Dmitry Lankin. Has some really spectacular tumbling. And there it is. There's some great difficulty. He just seems to know how to pack in the extra rotation. Little step back. And then a little pikes on that landing, just slightly bent over. Emphatically moves down low to the floor to make the most of the transition. Arms nice and wide on that diagonal armed handstand. It's a lovely fluid way to move back into the corner, very elegant. That's a really good start from the Russian Federation on floor. Raring to go, Dmitry Lankin. Came out with power, amplitude, but considerable control. We'll be seeing Dmitry Lankin in the vault final tomorrow. Bradley Zapata competing on the vault for Spain. 25-year-old from Santo Domingo, originally in the Dominican Republic, and he really kept a nice centre line controlling that vault. Ahmet Under just turned 22 last month, the gymnast from Izmir. Under really is the linchpin of this impressive young Turkish team, well, young all bar one member. Strain to control the cross. Just a little adjustment as he moved back into the iron cross. Straddle planche adds to the difficulty. Had to adjust his handstand a little at the top. The legs just moved back into that vertical line. Always carries a deduction. Some good elevation on his dismount. Ahmet Under took a nice haul of medals at the Mediterranean Games in June. 14.333 the score for Dmitry Lankin, just a little down on his qualification score of 14.366, but it's all much of a muchness when the scores are that good. Nikita Nagorny, another 21-year-old, much like Lankin. He also knows how to find a little space for an extra rotation. Part Russian team that performed so fantastically in Rio and took the gold at the European Championships 2 years ago, but he's had problems. It's a good recovery. Setting himself for a powerful dismount, Nikita Nagorny. Little hop to the side, little hop to the front. Just after that, a little wry smile from Nikita Nagorny. One very noticeable problem in the centre of that display. And right down into the sitting position, that will be costly. 13.966 the score for Ahmet Under on the rings. Ibrahim Jolak. Here is a skilled performer on the rings. Turkey were the second best on the rings. And this gentleman with a 15.033 certainly knows his stuff on the still rings. A lot of strength moving around into the Maltese cross. Variation into the planche. It's a very nice line. It's a lovely level shoulder presentation. And once more, little smile from Jolak as if he could be up there all day. Jolly well done from Ibrahim Jolak. Well executed display. Gymnast from Konak. They need his score. It's a wonderful feeling about this Turkish team having qualified for their first final. 13.2 Nikita Nagorny. Down by a mark and 2/10 from qualification. And will that turn out to be an important score? It's worth bearing in mind that the Russian Federation had some struggles on the horizontal bar as we look at Artur Dalalian. They still have such a cushion. They can afford these little slip-ups here and there. Or can they? We'll find out. Managed to make that big step forward look as though it was part of the transition. Lovely secure landing. Just a little bit of an over-rotation, perhaps, in finding the line for that handstand. Make sure of that landing, Artur Dalalian, gymnast who was born in Moldova, moved to Moscow when he was 6, just around about the start of his time as a gymnast. 14.966 for Ibrahim Jolak. That's a really competitive score. It's close to his +15 account from qualifying. Nicolas Almir. And he just turned 18, this gymnast from the lovely city of Palma in Mallorca. It's a big hop forward on the landing, but he did travel quite a distance in the vault itself. Good push away from the table. 14.333. It's a really decent score from Nicolas Almir. They did well in the vaulting qualification. Spain, it was their second strongest piece. They've started impressively. Great Britain lead, Turkey second place, Spain third. Russian Federation with a little bit of catching up to do. I believe that Russian Federation score is missing Artur Dalalyan's score. So don't read too much into that. There's a score missing from the Russian Federation at the moment. Just in case you were watching at home and thinking, goodness me, what are the Russian Federation doing down there? Haven't yet had Dalalyan's score in. To the pommel horse, Great Britain will begin with James Hall, Joe Fraser, Max Whitlock.
And today we're here to honour Georgia as Volunteer of the Day. And I'm working in media. What did you actually do to deserve this nomination? We try to help all reporters and photographers.
Switzerland will be Sifer, Mboyo and Guichard on the rings.
Any questions that's coming from them. Now, I know someone needed an adapter plug. They couldn't find one. You went to the shop and bought one with your own money.
France with Gobot, Ogis and Frasca on the vault.
I had a question from a photographer for an adapter. Unfortunately, we didn't have one, and I went to the shop, I bought one, and I gave it to him. And I think it was a great help.
The Italians make their way across to the parallel bars with Russo, Edali and Sarugerio. Confirmation that the score in for Dalalyan has pushed the Russian Federation into 4th position. So it's GB 1, Turkey 2, Spain 3, Russian Federation 4. And Switzerland, France, Germany and Italy at the conclusion of that first of 6 rotations. But this is a marathon more than a sprint. So there's plenty of time for things to change. Julien Gobot to compete on the vault for France. Very stable, very stable. Competed for Monaco until relatively recently, Gobot. Keeps the feet together, the toes nicely pointed, good line into the landing. 4.8 difficulty score that he was going for. Noah Sifer. Young gymnast who lives near St. Gallen. Such a difficult skill to control that planche with the straddle position put in. Wobbly handstand. If you're absolutely new to watching the rings, the key you're looking for is the gymnast hitting everything first time. If they have to make little adjustments, that's where those deductions for execution will come. It's a nice dismount, a really nice dismount from Sifer. And some very strong moments in it. 14.033, the score for Julien Gobot. Pretty comparable to his qualification performance, just a little higher. Quite tough for the French. They're moving from rings to vault, the 2 pieces they performed least well in qualifying. Parallel bars was their best. They were the 5th best overall for that. Axel Ogis to vault. It's a very low landing. It's that difficult balance to try to get in the desired number of rotations to post a 5.2 difficulty and still to get that vault down. Little look on his face tells you all you need to know. A costly step out as well. Joe Fraser on the pommel horse for Great Britain. What a fantastic first year as a senior in 2017, won the all-around title at the British Championships. Had a 14.4 in qualification. Very secure, really clicking those heels together. We'll come back to clicking heels later. Unless do you think we're talking about the Wizard of Oz? Body just a little on the Pike side, splitting hairs because this is really good travelling. Russian vendor swings controlled and pacey. Gymnast gets a little deduction every time they brush the handle, and the legs went a little wild. It is rapid work, just had some problems. Managed to get the dismount. Judges will have spotted that. You can bet your life they'll have spotted that. But much to enjoy about Joe Fraser's routine. There's a lovely sense of team spirit in the British ranks. 13.133 for Seifert. 13.366 for Axel Ogis. Loris Frasca next to vault for the French as the action comes thick and fast. Another tidy vault. Debut at the European Championships for Loris Frasca. He did compete at the World Championships in Montreal last year. Good vaulter. Very nice form in that vault. Lovely centre line. An enormously costly step back. It's a super straight vault. 13.8 for Joe Fraser. And that's a bit of a step down from the 14.4 that he received in qualifying. The judges noticing that wayward moment towards the end. Max Whitlock, the reigning Olympic champion on the pommel horse. It is a wonderfully classical piece of apparatus. The pommel horse was used in the first Olympics in 1896 and it's been in every game from 1924 onwards. So, really nice sense of fluidity. Here's the complexity. Powerful flares. You get a little bit more for flares than you used to in the Code of Points. The new Code of Points has upgraded the reward that gymnasts get for the flare, partly because the crowd just loves to see it. Legs have come a little loose in the Russian vendor swing. But gets through it cleanly. A big smile from Max Whitlock. And much like Fraser, had a little awkward moment, not quite as pronounced. Very fine response from the Hydro crowd, but they don't just give a fine response to the British gymnasts. They really are a wonderfully indiscriminate crowd in how they respond. 14.9 for Loris Frasca. Really good vault, and we will see him in the vault final tomorrow. That's why. Benjamin Guichard. Just waiting his orders to begin the still rings routine. Part of this Swiss setup that took the bronze, the hometown bronze for him in Bern 2 years ago. He's had some tough old injuries, Guichard. Torn ligaments in his left shoulder, right shoulder trouble. All the sort of injuries that get tested massively by a rings routine. Nice stillness in the cross. Get some nice height in the planche. Feet just slightly moving in that handstand, but the toes very pointed and together. Shows some variety. This time the straddle splits position put into the planche. Just a little stumble on the dismount, but nothing too drastic. Wonderful gymnast, performed so well in his debut Olympic Games. 12th in the floor and vault qualification. Really good talent for the Swiss team. He's won 4 titles in Glasgow. Max Whitlock looking for number 5. We look back at the pommel horse routine of the reigning Olympic champion, 25-year-old gymnast from Hemel Hempstead. Yeah, spectacular to watch, the Thomas flares. Good old Kurt Thomas, World Championship winning gymnast, 3-time world champion who created the Thomas flare. Wide sweeping leg movements that you see on the floor and on the pommel. To the parallel bars, Marco Saruggerio, gymnast from the north of Italy near Milan. He needs to really travel down the length of the bars, which he did very well. Nice arch of the body, moving into the next travel. Lots of control needed. Brings the heels together very nicely for the handstand. Good control, dismount in the pike position. That will do very nicely for Italy. 14 for Marco Saruggerio. Exactly as he performed in qualification, so very consistent work from the 21-year-old. 14.433, Max Whitlock's score on the pommel horse. It's going to be a very interesting pommel horse final. Mehmet Şemilog, 37, the eldest statesman of the Turkish team. What an influence he's been. Just a little out on his line. It was a stable vault. Turkey were 3rd best in the vault. You might be able to see there he's pushing just to one side as he makes contact with the table, and that carries him away, drifting. One of those feet does land fully out. It's always more costly if the foot lands straight out than if it lands in and bounces out. Chance to have a look at the German team. Andreas Tober on the still rings. 27-year-old gymnast from Lower Saxony. And his dad wasn't too shabby at this piece of apparatus. European Championship silver medalist on the rings in '96. Goodness me, the strength that he transitions into the cross Very level shoulders. It's disciplined and tight work, this from Toba. To adjust that handstand very slightly. Dismounts well, those were feet firmly planted. A happy gymnast. Great team gymnast as well. He injured his knee ligaments at the Olympic Games and still completed his pommel horse routine to make sure Germany got through to that final. 13.533 for Shemelov. Ferhat Arichan vaulting for Turkey. It really has captured the attention of the sporting world in Turkey that this team has made it through to a European final. They've put in enormous effort to develop their technique, and evidence of that in the way that Arichan vaults. It's a precise, well-maintained centre line. It's good technique. Step forward on landing will carry deduction, but other than that, it was a good vault. 13.9 the score for Andreas Toba. He's down by 3/10 on the qualification mark. The Russian Federation were the strongest nation on the pommel horse. They were strongest on everything apart from the high bar, which they will finish on, so it could lead to a very nerve-wracking finale to the competition. Nice straight body. Very fluid travelling, very fluid skills. Precise hand placement in the flares. Less precise in that little brief moment of the Russian vendor swing. Now the ever popular Magyar Shivado skills. The Magyar you go forwards, the Shivado you go backwards. And he's going nowhere but into a very controlled dismount indeed. .2 for Ferhat Arichan. Performing well so far, performing very well. Ahmed Under. He's 22, he really has emerged as the star performer, and I say star performer in very inverted commas because it's a team that really has a strong spirit. He probably wouldn't like to be described as the star performer, but he is the only gymnast who performed on all 6 pieces in qualification. And he is very, very stable in the vault. They've approached this whole final with a delightful sense of calmness, Turkey. It's been coming, this moment. They're determined to make the most of it. Lovely feet and toe position. Super form. Wonderful response from the gymnasts watching on. And we're just hearing that there's been an inquiry on the pommel horse. I believe it's Max Whitlock, the subject of the inquiry from the coaches, so we'll come back to that with confirmation soon. Nikolai Kutsenkov, 14.633. Comparable to his qualification mark, a really good display. David Biliavsky the reigning European champion on the pommel horse. 5-time European champion. Marvellous gymnast. Beliavsky is 26-year-old. Competes for the Lokomotiv Yekaterinburg club. He's making sure to use every single part of the apparatus. That's difficult work. Just a little brush of the horse. He needs to keep the body position strong, that core strength. It's rapid, it's a little too rapid almost. Just some difficulties for Beliavsky right at the end. Hard to tell if that's a wry smile, a half-happy smile, a nervous smile, all of the above and then some. We've got an interesting competition developing. The fight for the championship. Debutant at senior championships, gymnast Nick Klessing, who just competed for Germany, to be followed by Marcel Nguyen. Putting the still in still rings. Here is the 30-year-old Marcel Nguyen, two-time Olympic silver medalist in London, along with the team gold Birmingham in the European Championships of 2010. He really does love performing in the UK. Super Maltese cross, that's the horizontal cross into the regular cross. Coming up into the pike position. Lovely strength into that handstand, that really is super. Sharp snap again into the handstand position. Very good dismount indeed from Marcel Nguyen, veteran of the team. Wasn't able to be at his best at the World Championships in the Hydro in 2015 as he just recovered from knee ligament injury. He really is desperate to be here and to display his best work. 14.266 Beliavsky's score. That is quite a bit lower than his qualification mark of 15. Come back to that in a moment as we journey across to the parallel bars. The work of Nestor Abad. Just lost his form slightly moving into handstand. If you're new to watching parallel bars, watch for the gymnasts walking with their hands. I didn't quite make sure of that. If the gymnasts have to take adjustment steps, we sometimes call them, with the hands on the bars, it carries deductions. Low dismount, he just kept that under control. Quick thinking from Nestor Abad, the 3 times Mediterranean Games champion. Really important member of this Spanish side. Abad's father promised he'd give up smoking if Nestor Abad won the Spanish championships, and his dad hasn't touched a cigarette since. 13.166 the score for Nestor Abad.
So the team standings after 2 rotations are as follows. We look at the top 3. Turkey currently in 3rd place.
2 rotations done and dusted. Touch warm-up time for the gymnasts as we inch towards the halfway point of the competition.
And leading after 2 upright 85.165, Great Britain.
Calculations being made. And once all the numbers have been crunched, we will know the standings. Great Britain leading the way, Russian Federation second, Turkey doing fantastically in the bronze medal position. Spain, France, Germany, Switzerland, Italy playing catch-up. What a competition so far for Turkey in their first major final. Russian Federation with some catching up to do. Great Britain leading the way in their home European Championships. A rare opportunity for a breather. Well, for us, but not for them. Courtney Tulloch, Joe Fraser, James Hall will be the rings gymnasts. Courtney Tulloch, a key member of the rings setup for Great Britain. Switzerland will vault. Kraska, Gobo and Ogis will compete on the parallel bars for the French. Here is Noah Samuel Siffer vaulting for the Swiss. They've got some real catching up to do at Switzerland. Now in 7th place at the conclusion of the rotation. If you're just joining the competition, Noah Siffer, the 19-year-old, vaulting with a 4.8 difficulty for Switzerland and just pushing away a little out into the red. We are in the 3rd rotation of 6 in this men's team final at the Glasgow 2018 European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics.
Next, the horizontal bar, representing Italy, Andrea Russo.
Time for action on the horizontal bar. Italy competing with Andrea Russo. As with the Yamawaki. Winds up into the first big release. He just wound up a little too much. That was a very big shudder of the body into moving into that first release. Just travelled too far away from the bar. He's having a tough old day, is Andrea Russo. A difficult time on vault, now a difficult time on the horizontal bar. Can't fault the effort, the power, the commitment. It is very fine margins indeed. He's a young gymnast as well. Gets it right that time, adds the mixed grip in. Just slightly lost his momentum coming out of it, but the mixed grip is a common device the gymnasts use to add to the complexity of their routine, build the difficulty into the Kachev. Just losing the fluidity a little bit. From pike into Stolder position, that's the straddle position that gymnasts use to create some variety to their close work, and he dismounts with aplomb. It's a really nice finish for Andrea Russo after a difficult start. And it shows great character from this young gymnast. 13.866, Siffer's score on vault. Siffer with a little improvement from qualifying. Time to look at Taha Sahani. Turned 23 last May from Winterthur in the Zurich area of Switzerland. Really came to everyone's attention in the European Games in Baku in 2015. And unfortunately, Attention will come to him again from the judges as they make deductions for the landing. Whether you're a seasoned veteran of gymnastics or watching for the first time, you don't need me to tell you that if a gymnast sits down and puts their hand down on a vault, it's going to be costly in the marks. Those of you not so familiar with the scoring, gymnast starts at 0 for difficulty, it works upwards, and they start on 10 for execution, and everything that isn't perfect carries a deduction of varying sizes. And this is a team competition, so 3 gymnasts competing on each piece, and every score counts. James Hall will be the next to count for Great Britain on the rings. The moment the coach releases the gymnast, then the evaluation of the judges begins. Separate panel to look at difficulty and execution. Motions around well into the cross. Very controlled. Very nice leg form in that swinging on the rings as he moved round into straddle planche, and toes pointed, extended so nicely in the pike position, up into handstand.
Come on then, James.
Tiniest, almost imperceptible movements of the feet in that handstand. Just a little movement back on the dismount, but very, very fine. Had a really good Commonwealth Games, James Hall, taking an all-around silver for England. Team gold, high bar silver. 11.466, Andrea Russo's score on the horizontal bar, or the high bar, depending on what you prefer to call it. You'll hear both terms used interchangeably. Please don't think we've suddenly added a 7th piece of apparatus in there. Super handstand by Julien Gobot. A very wonderful gymnastics coach and a wonderful gymnastics broadcaster, the late great Mitch Fenner, used to talk about clicking heels on the parallel bars, that you show the judges that you're hitting a handstand by bringing the heels together. France seeking to improve upon the 5th place finish they had in 2014 in the European Championship. 14.3, Julien Gobot's score. And he has improved from his 13.933 in qualifying. 13.166 was Taha Sahani's score on the vault. That was Benjamin Guichard we had a little look at for a moment there. James Hall, 13.833 on the still rings. So he's jumped up by a 10th from qualifying. All these fascinating permutations to look at. The second highest qualifier individually in the rings, Courtney Tulloch, gymnast from Lewisham. And that's his move, the Tulloch 2 they're calling it. He's debuted it in Scotland, maybe we should call it the Tulloch's tea cake, I'm not sure, but wonderful strength. And again in the Maltese V position, he bursts out and then keeps the control in the handstand. Once more, that horizontal cross, well held back into the regular cross, looking known as the iron cross. And a little variation from the planche. Planche different from the Maltese because the arms are up more. Gymnast is a little above the line of the rings. Really very impressive from young Courtney Tulloch. gymnast who trained with Pegasus. He is enjoying this moment. Took a rings silver last year. That could be a very important display for Great Britain. Courtney Tulloch is a huge football fan. He started gymnastics because he wanted to learn how to somersault when scoring a goal. He might well be turning some somersaults when these scores come in. Yeah, back with the horizontal bar, and the Italian gymnast having a really difficult time. Tommaso De Vecchis just isn't quite going their way. It's been a really difficult final, and actually can so often come undone on the horizontal bar. Gymnasts have to go for big releases. They have to have the difficulty. Tommaso De Vecchis goes back on the bar. Struggling to keep his control, regain his composure. He's done well. Good legs in the Stolder position. Gymnasts have to have close work as well to the bar, and a one-arm giant swing. That's a nice bit of nostalgia. It's a really traditional horizontal bar move. Big wind up, big dismount, good control. I think he might just have hurt himself a little on that landing. A bit of a wince from Timmy De Vecchis, as he's known to his teammates. Benjamin Guichard. That's really stable, secure vaulting from the 22-year-old. What a moment it was for Switzerland when they won that team bronze in 2016 in Bern. Building on the success of that, very difficult 14.5 for Guichard. He didn't vault in qualification, little adjustments made by the Swiss coaching staff. And a good adjustment based on the score of Guichard. Courtney Tulloch waits and waits and waits. Took the rings gold for England at the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast back earlier in the year. Confirmation that De Vecchis got 10.9 on the horizontal bar, had a pretty hefty fall. Still Tulloch waits, 14.433, his ring score, a little down on the 15.1 that he scored in qualification, but still a very strong score. And if you're just joining us, it's a really competitive battle, the top spot between Great Britain and the Russian Federation. Great Britain were leading the way at the end of the second rotation. Look at Germany and Andreas Brettschneider. He had a lot of rotations to try to get him to stabilise that landing. He's a gymnast who likes to create difficulty, particularly when he's doing some bar work. Gets the knees into the body in the tuck position. Big sit down on the landing. He's going for a 5.2 difficulty. Another gymnast who's worked so hard to come back from shoulder injury, had surgery on both shoulders at the start of the year, Brettschneider. Arthur Dalalian, first to compete on the rings for the Russian Federation. A team that's going for 3 titles in a row, continental level. Effortless looking transition to the Maltese. But that's a lovely snap back up into the Maltese cross once more. And into the regular cross. Very level line on the shoulders. That's something to really look for. V position used as the starting point for some swinging. Just had to work to bring that cross slightly back under control. Toes well pointed in the V position once more and into the straddle planche. Super control, really super control. Artur Delalian gets things started in style for the Russian team. Still have their weakest piece to come, which was the horizontal bar, but that can all change fast. 13.433 for Andreas Brettschneider on the vault. Germany were really good on the vault in qualifying. They were the second best nation, but all of their gymnasts posted 14+ scores. Nick Klessing, he posted a 14.3. Very good execution of 9.1. It's a debut for Klessing at big championships. He was a very good gymnast at junior level. Rings champion 2 years ago in the Junior Euros. Again a sit down, again going for massive work in the apex of the vault. There's a fairly hefty thud in that landing. Gymnast has got to get the feet down first, otherwise it's a big old zero. Feet did go down. Unfortunately, other parts of him went down as well. Not much gets past these judges. Eagle-eyed they are. Artur Delalian is awaiting his score on the rings. 14.633, that's a weight that's worth it. That's a really fine start for this Russian team. It's a 10th up from qualifying for Delalian. Nikita Nagorny. What a gymnast. Has 3 European Championship gold medalists at the age of 21, or medals at the age of 21. It's a nice transition, stylish work. Lovely way to hit the straddle planche that was. Just brings his handstand back under control. Does that well to compensate slightly. Just a little flick into the handstand second time. Dismounts with really nice form and reacts with real style. It's lovely to see a gymnast come off a piece of apparatus knowing that it's gone well. Gives everyone a lift, gives the team a lift, gives the crowd a lift. Might just help the judges make a few decisions too. 13.1 for Nick Klessing on the vault. He's 1.2 down from qualifying. Germany were the champions in 2010 in the team competition. Marcel Nguyen was part of that team. Do so need his finest work, and they've just seen a really nice vault. Didn't get as much of a push away from the table as some of the gymnasts we've seen so far, but what he judged so well was the rotations for the landing. Got good height, got very good height, very well controlled, super line, very central, very stable. Ahmet Under to compete on the parallel bars for Turkey. Got a gold on this piece at the Mediterranean Games in Tarragona in June. That was a really competitive event, some very good teams. This is looking very secure from Under. Oh, say that. And then just when working on one of the bars, that slight loss of control, but he got it back. It is meticulous work from the 22-year-old. Goes from the V position into his dismount and dismounts well. They really are having a good day, the Turkish team. Been some super coaching from Alyaz Pergan in the Turkish setup to change the way gymnastics is done there. 14.2, Nikita Nagorny's score on the rings. The Russian Federation really putting pressure on Great Britain at the top of the leaderboard. Dmitry Lankin, the third and final gymnast on the rings for the Russian Federation. That will bring us to the end of rotation number 3. That will be the halfway point of this competition. I'm starting to get a good idea of the standings. The strongest gymnasts on this piece of apparatus will hold those strength elements for such time just to really show the judges they've got the strength and control. And my, there is strength and control, a steely look. Oh, and then right at the end, goodness me, Dmitry Lankin. You'd have put your money on him landing, and you'd have lost your money. Goodness, that was unexpected. It was such a composed and controlled routine. There's no easy way to save that, there really isn't. Nguyen 14.466 on vault will really help Germany. It's a good score.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's make as much noise as we can in parties. The gymnasts move on to the next piece of
Parallel bars action in France and Axel Ogis.
There's the beat, get up on your feet, let's go! There's Switzerland and Germany flying the flag. Let's see you guys.
Got beautifully straight legs. Really good form. Toes extended wonderfully. Stillness. Uses the Diamondov. It's a lovely bit of technique. Very impressive from Axel Ogis. Calm work from an experienced gymnast. Common skill to see the gymnast going to the V position into a dismount like that. 14.433 for Axel Ogis takes France to almost 125 points.
Let's take a look. Dimitri Lankin scored 13.566. You can see that on the right-hand side. I did 26 miles, execution 7.566.
13.566 the score for Dimitri Lankin.
But taking a look, subject to the inquiries, the top three are as follows. Great Britain currently...
We have all of the scores in after the third rotation, and look at the top of that leaderboard. Turkey, top. Russian Federation, second. Great Britain, third. Change there. Russia have gone above Great Britain, but Turkey have gone above the pair of them. France, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Italy out of the medals at the halfway point, and a little bit of daylight developing between France and Great Britain.
Switzerland on parallel bars and France on horizontal bars. So the
You know what? I think we've got ourselves a team final here.
Keep up the scores as well with the official Glasgow 2018 app. Have a look for Glasgow 2018 in the store. Some of the scores are on the big screen. You can go to the Gymnastics website.
Hall, Cunningham, Tulloch to vault for Great Britain.
For all of your scores, keep in touch with that. But make sure you drop the action in here before cheering the gymnasts right in front of you.
Sehani, Mboyo, Hegi on the parallel bars, representing the Swiss team. Currently down in 7th position, but it's all to play for.
Gymnasts, that concludes your warm-up.
Gobo, Ogis, Boulet will compete on the high bar and entertain the crowds. Hopefully entertain the French coaches as well. To vault, James Hall for Great Britain. If you're just joining the competition, rotation 4 of this European Championship men's team final begins. Turkey lead, Russian Federation 2, Great Britain 3, France 4. What a fascinating state of play we have. Very good vault to begin. Just the one vault in the team competition. And my, it's got to count. Got to be landed. Really good body position in the twist. A little low on that landing, but it was well stabilised by Hall. A lot of strength to bring himself back up. If you haven't seen much of the vaulting so far, there have been quite a few gymnasts over-rotating, trying to put too much in and sitting down on the landing. Not so for Hall. Glasgow 2018 European Championships of so many sports. The aquatics, the diving, synchro swimming, open water swimming, along with the regular good old-fashioned swimming pool swimming, cycling, all forms of it, golf, rowing, triathlon. Here at the Hydro on the banks of the River Clyde, and watching the men's team competition in artistic gymnastics. And we're watching Taha Sehani of Switzerland on the parallel bars. Decent travel from one end to the middle. Just a slight loss of position on the handstand, but well rescued. Tidy dismount, very tidy dismount. Switzerland were excellent on this piece in qualification. They were the second best on the parallel bars. So this is the potential catch-up operation for the Swiss. 14.433 is James Hall's score on the vault for Great Britain. And he has improved by around a 10th in qualifying. Dominic Cunningham was the weakest of the three vaulters with a 13.3 in qualifying. I think it might be a little bit better now. Wow, that is the vault of a gymnast who's come out saying, I'm going to hit this, I am going to hit this. He's been a wonderful choir master as well today in getting the Hydro Arena crowd going. Give him a microphone, he can take over as the MC. He's doing a wonderful job. He's doing a wonderful job with that vault. A 5.4 difficulty, so there's much to begin to credit. Just veers his run up back into position. That really is lovely. 14.333, Taha Sahani on the parallel bars. This is a chance for Switzerland just to push further up, prevent that little gap developing that's starting to appear between Great Britain in third place and the rest of the pack. That's where it can start to emerge at this sort of stage of the competition. First look at Njimboyo, senior debut for this exciting young talent. In qualification, he did all 6 pieces. Some adjustments have been made, maybe a lot to ask, maybe too much to ask of a 19-year-old. Just had some elements a touch on the tentative side here, but others have looked very, very good. It's good distance from one end to t'other. Little adjustments will be noticed by the judges. Lovely body form in the pipe, but he shakes his head, and Njimboyo, I think he was too happy about that display. An exciting young talent he is. 14.9 for Dominic Cunningham on vault. His celebrations were not premature, they were absolutely bang on, because that's a massive increase. 1.6 the jump up from qualifying. Courtney Tulloch. Well, you have to say the British team are seizing this opportunity. Challenging Russia. They've got to challenge Turkey as well now. Huge, huge response from the crowd. My colleague Craig Heap is working for the BBC very close to me, and Craig Heap practically vaulted as high as Courtney Tulloch when that landing happened. Just avoided the hand touching down, I believe. 5.6 difficulty as well. Interesting to see what the judges make of that arm. Does it touch down? Does it brush? Does it get close but not there? Well, these are the fascinating fine margins. You can bet the Russian team are going to be watching that closely too. Haven't we some joyous entertainment here in the hydro? The gymnast who always entertains is Axel Ogis. French gymnast competing in the horizontal bar as France looked to press for a medal position. They were 4th at the end of the last rotation. Here comes the big release and catch. Secure. And again. Just had to rescue things a little there, Ogis, to keep his swing precise. He will dismount with power, he will dismount with sublime control. 13.433 the score for Axel Ogis. 14.533 for Courtney Tulloch. Great Britain had a real struggle with the vault. They were 14th. It's not happening today. Much stronger. Oliver Heggie, Swiss gymnast on the parallel bars, where Switzerland really did excel in qualification. arches the body so nicely, moving into the release. Super straight handstand. Just maybe lost his position very slightly there, working on the one bar. Emphatic dismount. Switzerland are impressing on the parallel bar. They are really impressing. If you're just switching on your TV, firstly, a warm welcome. It's lovely to have your company for this team final. It's a team final that saw Turkey lead at the halfway point. Yes, you heard that right. We've got some great entertainment going on. Edgar Boulet.
So in the second half of the rotation, we will see Spain walk on the floor, Russian collaboration on the front.
It's good control. Using the Kovac style release and catch. Fascinating evolutions there have been in the horizontal bar releases. Steamrolled Mr. Kovac came along. Yamawaki, popular style of move. It's really good, entertaining horizontal bar work from the French. Edgar Boulet was born in the rather delightful Dordogne region, but now, like the majority of the French gymnasts, lives in Paris, trains there. 12.933 his score. Oliver Heggie with a 15 on the parallel bars. He's up from an already impressive 14.866 in qualification. So a real chance, the risk of overstating that narrative, for Switzerland to jump up now. So this is how things stand halfway through the rotation. GB, France, Switzerland and Italy, but that is a halfway point in the rotation because the other four nations yet to perform. If you're becoming accustomed to how a team competition works, you'll have noticed that the nations are paired up on a piece of apparatus and they move around, the 8 of them together. So Russia and Great Britain stay together. They watch each other perform. And what it means that's so fascinating is these Russian gymnasts come out having just seen what's happened to the British team. Nikita Nagorny. It was an emphatic start, it was an emphatic landing. I mean, that is a gentleman who was absolutely fired up from the moment that he got out to the runway. And then after the ferocity, the smile. It's very, very difficult vaulting to control and to land right. Boy, did he land that right. Powerful tucked rotations. And then after all that intensity, a rather charming smile. It's real pressure time now for Turkey. The leaders at the end of the last rotation in their first ever European team final. Now they must stay on the bar. Ferhat Alican. This was their best piece in qualification. Got to make it count. Very nearly lost the precision, but quick recovery. Good height. And again, just clean, clear Kachev work. You'll see more complex work, but it just needs to be clean. horizontal bar. There had Arichan, such an experienced gymnast, leading by example. It gives the team something to feed off. 14.866, Nikita Nagorny. Great score on vault. Russian Federation starting to mount the comeback as they chase for gold. It will be 3 in a row if they can do it. Artur Dalaloyan will be competing in 3 finals, including the vault final, as individual finals coming up tomorrow to bring our gymnastics coverage to a close. And he is a threatening vaulter. Wasn't quite the landing that he was after, but there's difficulty in the attack. The Yushchenko style vault, which is the handspring entry vault, and then getting a good few twists around. It's a 5.6 difficulty. The other term, Yushchenko, in vaulting, it refers to a handspring style entry. 13.3 Arichan's score on the horizontal bar. And he's very much in line with the qualification mark. Ahmet Under had a 13.566 in qualifying. Gymnast who lives in Izmir, like much of the team. This is going to be big, and it's going to work. Oh, he's gone. The Kovac skill not completed. Oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame. So close, it's just the left arm. It almost got tucked in a little to the body. Now, to all the number crunchers, what will that mean? What will that do? Full mark deduction for a gymnast dismounting unintentionally. Ben completes the Kachev well. And again, Kachev with a mixed grip. It's a good pirouette. They will him on, and he lands it well. There will be some costly deductions for Turkey. There won't be for Artur Dalaloyan on the vault. 14.5 his score. Russia starting to get into the groove. Dmitry Lankin. It's been a little bit of a masterclass in vaulting from the Russian Federation. We've seen a wonderful rotation on vault from Great Britain and the Russian Federation. Super scores. Currently, the lowest score that we've had on vault in this rotation is a 14.433. Event-winning scores delivered. Ahmet Under is waiting on his score for the horizontal bar. He did have a costly fall. Marcel Nguyen competing on the parallel bars for Germany. Super gymnastics, just such a treat to see him here after the injuries that he's been through. He came back from that difficult ligament injury and couldn't deliver his best work at the Glasgow 2015 Worlds. He was also knocked off his bicycle by a car in the lead up to the competition, so he's just here wanting to show his very finest work. Will compete in the floor final. Just loses the legs a little, they came slightly apart. Some nice work from the London Olympic silver medalist in the parallel bars, Marcel Nguyen. Competition continues and it is rather up for grabs. Didn't quite make the grab, Ahmed Onder, 12.466, but he recovered well. But the crucial thing is he's down from a 13.566 in qualifying. Nesta Abad competing for Spain on the floor, just stabilises that first bit of tumbling.
Okay, we have some hip-hop beats on for our rotation track this time round. Let's get everybody up on their feet.
Well-controlled flare work.
Any kids up there in the audience, get your mums and dads up on your feet as well. All right, let's have a picture of the best.
The gymnast who had surgery, ligament surgery in 2014, seems to have been much the better off for it. Having had that surgery, it's always such a risky decision for an athlete to make. That's really good control from Nesta Abad, born in Alcoy in Alicante, now spends his time in Madrid with the rest of the squad. 14.033 for Abad on floor, up by a few tenths from the qualification mark. Spain were the second best on floor. 14.733 Marcel Nguyen on the parallel bars. He'll be delighted to be so much higher than his qualifying mark. 14.8 the score's coming in thick and fast. Dmitry Lankin of the Russian Federation posting a wonderful bit of vaulting. And what does it mean? Let's take a breath, let's take it in. Same three at the top of the leaderboard, but they're switching around. It's Russia 1, GB 2, Turkey 3. 3 points of daylight between Turkey and Germany, but it's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. We have 2 more rotations still to come. Russian Federation back where they expect to be. What a competition so far.
Well, we've already done our training this morning. We've just got recovery tonight.
Just in case, in the highly unlikely event this isn't giving you your full fix of gymnastics action, we'll give you a little bit more tomorrow with the 6 individual apparatus finals. There's no all-around competition at the European Championships this year because every year there's a team competition, there's not an all-around, it rotates. So there always are individual apparatus finals, but the team and the all-around rotates. Cunningham, Hall, Fraser, Great Britain on the parallel bars. Switzerland with Henji Mboyo to compete on the high bar. Gymnast from near Zurich. He's a good all-around gymnast, Mboyo. He was 7th in the junior all-around competition at the 2016 Junior Euros. Switzerland will just feel a little bit invigorated because of their work on the parallel bars. He's really making sure Boyo of all of these releases and catches. It's nice Kovacs work. And the gymnast also has to work close to the bar as well, show variety of grip. Lovely height, lovely security of landing from Mboyo. It's been a big, big day. It's been a big competition. Young, impressive gymnast. So many young, impressive gymnasts in this competition. If you think these folk were impressive, then the young gymnasts who competed in the juniors, my word, some amazing displays in the men's and women's junior competitions. Dominic Cunningham for Great Britain on the parallel bars. Britain were the third best on the parallel bars overall. It was one of their better pieces. The vault was the one that troubled them in qualification. They got through that very well indeed. Some good skills being shown here by Cunningham, keeping control, showing a little bit of variety, dismounting well with just a little step forward. Gymnast from Birmingham. He's really endeared himself to the crowd. He's been a wonderful participant in this competition. He's got the crowd going. He's shown some character, some personality. He's backed it up with real performance, the former pupil of Bishop Challoner Catholic College. 13.2, Kenji Mboyo on the horizontal bar. Switzerland pushed up into 6th position at the end of the last rotation.
Next to floor, representing France, Julien Dubois.
France competing on the floor with Julien Gobot. France trying to make a real charge for those top 3 positions. Turkey 3, Britain 2, Russia 1 at the end of the last rotation. Just did well to keep that in bounds. Close control work. Feet need to really come up for the Russian Vendor swing. If your German is about as good as mine, Vendor swing is German for a turn swing. You can see why it's called that. Big stumble forward on the landing from Julien Gobot. He had a 13.7 in the qualification on floor. Cunningham 14.5. Been a really good day for Dominic Cunningham thus far.
Next on parallel bars, representing Great Britain, James Hall.
James Hall, busy gymnast. He's the only one in qualifying who did all 6 pieces for Great Britain. It's a lot to do. It's a nice variety.
Come on, James.
Super precise line in the handstand. Difficult when the gymnast makes those kinds of transitions to keep stability. Big cries of "come on then" for James Hall. that stage where every member of every team that's in the hunt for a medal is living and breathing every moment. And they will enjoy that moment. Just a little stumble as Hall made his dismount, made his landing. Great youth gymnast in Australia before making the move over to the UK. He was part of the team that took the silver in 2015 at the World Championships here in the hydro. 13.566 is Julien Gobot's score on floor. Edgar Boulet for France next to go on floor. Only competed in the horizontal bar and the floor in qualifying. He's really looking for that first big medal. He wasn't part of the French Mediterranean Games squad in June. Hop forward but kept it controlled. He's got such a wonderful story, Edgar Boulet. He was actually enrolled in gymnastics as a child as a punishment for being out of control and too ill-disciplined. And he's got the discipline now. Turned out to be a very effective punishment, that. Really gaining big competition experience. Edgar Boulet turns 23 in a couple of weeks and he'll really look back on this experience with great fondness. 14.8 the score for James Hall on the parallel bars. He's up from a 14.166 in qualifying. What a step up it's been from James Hall. Youngest member of the British squad, Joe Fraser, another Birmingham-based gymnast. Had a very bad ankle injury in January in training. He's done so well just to be here and be able to compete. That's lovely steady work on the one bar. Good travelling, brings the handstand well under control. Round he goes to dismount impressively, and then the emotion really does come out from Joe Fraser. It's a wonderful crowd here in the hydro. And we've certainly been given much to celebrate by this British team.
Well done.
2012 when Britain won the European Championships. .13.433 Edgar Boulet's score on floor. Oliver Heggie competing on the horizontal bar for the Swiss. He was by some way their best in qualifying with a 14.1. His is a really important score if he connects. Nice landing into the mixed grip or catch into the mixed grip. That's great work. Make sure of his catch in the Kovac. Super rapid work in the pike position, then uses the Yamawaki. Can this dismount justify the work? Yes, it can. Oliver Heggie, that's really compelling action on the horizontal bar. 14.1 the score for Heggie, exactly where he was in qualifying. He needed that score. They needed that score, 15.233, Joe Fraser. A big score on parallel bars for Fraser, up from 14.8 in qualifying. What a race. Three-way race between the Russian Federation, Turkey and Great Britain.
First compete on floor, representing Turkey, Emre Gündoğdu.
Emre Gündoğdu. Turned 21 last month. Just come into the squad and a big stumble back and step out of bounds. And get an automatic 0.1 penalty for the step out. Came in to replace Serkan Demir after the Mediterranean Games. Just again managed to keep control. Could have been so much worse. Big breath out, needs it. Simple layout. It's a really nice, well-controlled handstand. Really well dismounted, Emre Gündoğdu. How costly will his little stumble back and step out of bounds be at the start? And there was a second moment quite like it. But Turkey are very much in contention. Artur Dalaloyan of the Russian Federation on the parallel bars. The Russian Federation were in the lead at the end of the last rotation. That was a tough connection. Interestingly constructed routine from Dalaloyan. Still in that handstand. Breathes out, positions himself for a complex dismount with lovely steady footwork on the landing. Great young gymnast, this 22-year-old. He's been through a fascinating journey, Dalaloyan. As we look at a 12.6 for Emre Gündoğdu on floor. A look at the high bar and a look at the hydro. Isn't that a delightful sight? Full venue for this European Championship men's team final. Andreas Toba of Germany to compete on the horizontal bar. Such a great team player, Andreas Toba. Really regarded by everyone to add so much value to the squad. Can he create the value numerically now? Certainly can. A couple of difficult releases and catches to begin. And goes for the more traditional Kachev move that many of you will recognise from the women's uneven bars as well. Second Kachev had the varied grip, the mixed grip. Purposeful wind-up, purposeful dismount, small hop forward, nothing too dramatic though. It's really good from Andreas Tober. Back to Arthur Dalalian, 15.433, a wonderful parallel bars display. Was a delight to watch. The score certainly a delight to see come in. Nikita Nagorny. What both the Russian and the British teams have done so effectively is get a first gymnast out who sets the standard, and as I say that, then Nagorny with a really unexpected error. And he's got it back now, using skills from the Diamondov family. Dismounts really tidily, but that was a very interesting and unexpected moment in the middle of the routine from Nikita Nagorny. And his reaction, such a contrast to Arthur Dalalian's. We're at the stage now where those tiny moments could be enormous. 13, Andreas Tober. Produced some great entertainment, haven't they, in recent years on the horizontal bar. The Germans, Sir Fabian Hambuchen, Ahmed Undet. Had some difficulty on the horizontal bar under. He's recovering well. Super control. And here's a student of physical education or physical education teaching. What a wonderful role model to have as a teacher this gymnast would be. Good pace in the Russian. Nice diagonal arms for the handstand, really brings the heels together, clicks them. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Oh, when it all seemed done and dusted. Well, well, well. 14.3 for Nikita Nagorny on the parallel bars. Russian Federation starting to get back in control, despite a little issue for Nagorny. But if you came in just a moment ago and saw Ahmed Under's difficult stumble back at the end of the floor routine, that could be very, very costly indeed. David Bilyavsky, part of the Russian team that took that gold in 2016. Knows what it is to deliver a European title on this piece of apparatus, and he gets such lovely elevation and distance along the bars. Steady, strong work into the handstand. Effective dismounting. Well landed, securely landed. We have a real fight on for the top title. Maybe that Turkey have just slightly priced themselves out of the market. Waiting for the score for Ahmed Under. But it was a big, big stumble he took out of the floor right in the final tumbling sequence. Andreas Brettschneider competing for Germany on the horizontal bar. This is going to be very powerful. Can he control it? Yes.
You can't hide, it's a big camera. You guys in the shirts, let's see you flossing.
It's really nice control so far.
Some younger fans, let's see it for the young gymnastics fans. And there's the Swiss and the German teams, let's see you cheering. Yeah, you're on the big screen, buying them together, let's see.
Oh, he's gone off on the pirouette of all things. Andreas Brettschneider. Well, all of the big releases and catches were complete. And then just a touch wild, perhaps, on the pirouette. And just pinging off. Now, these gymnasts, they make it all look so very, very easy. And when you see a loss of connection on something like a pirouette, as he then delivers a marvellous dismount, you realise how challenging even the simplest looking of moves are. 13.033 for Andreas Brettschneider.
Russian Federation.
11.833, Ahmed Under's score. And what's that going to do overall for Turkey? 15.466, David Biliavski. Another excellent display on the parallel bars. And this is what it means after the fifth rotation. Turkey have slipped down and away, but there's still only a point there. Russian Federation and Great Britain, that's the battle for gold. France, Switzerland, Turkey, Germany, that's the battle for bronze. This is going to be a really interesting final rotation. Does appear to be a two-horse race for gold. It's a multi-horse race for the bronze in this European men's artistic gymnastics team final at Glasgow 2018. Thank you so very much indeed for joining us wherever in the world it may be for the final rotation. Just in case your heart skipped a beat there, we're still in the warm-up phase. France will be getting things underway on the pommel horse. Julien Gobot. France are in the driving seat so far in the quest for bronze. Third place at the end of the last rotation. But there's under 2 points between third and sixth as things stand. Gobot certainly doing his bit, keeping those legs up and away from the handles. Every little brush of the handles or the pommels results in a deduction. Legs just started to become a little imprecise at the end, but it wasn't that noticeable, and Julien Gobot has done his bit. Much there that the judges will enjoy from a difficulty perspective. The two highest qualifiers, Great Britain and the Russian Federation, who battle for gold, are now battling on the horizontal bar. This will be as spectacular as it gets. One-arm giant swing from Cunningham. Control in the pike position. Starts well. Just needs to keep the power, and he's down. Just started to drift away. Dominic Cunningham has been such a wonderful member of this British team. Just didn't get that Katchev quite right and seemed to be on the bar. Worth mentioning, if you didn't follow the qualification process, the Russian Federation really struggled in bar qualification. It was the only place they struggled. But they will certainly take heart from seeing trouble there for Great Britain early on. Makes the catch with a mixed grip work that time. And again, really big problems for Dominic Cunningham. And well, the main thing there, he looks okay at least, because that could have been nasty. Just as he came round, the right arm slipping off sent him careering, but really quickness of reaction by Cunningham to avoid some discomfort. But it is discomfort on the scoreboard for Great Britain, that much will be clear. What a super reaction from the Hydro crowd to a gymnast having a difficult time of things. They're giving back what Dominic Cunningham has asked for and has received, which is enthusiasm and noise. And he finishes well, Dominic Cunningham. Every score counts in a team final. Every score matters. He's been a wonderful entertainer. 13.2, Julien Gobot on the pommel horse for France, who are trying to hold on to the bronze position. Can Turkey mount a comeback, having occupied first place earlier on in this competition? That we will find out later, but for now, Axel Ogis, born in Courbevoie in the Parisian suburbs, and he's already competed here at a World Championships in 2015. Balancing his frontwards and backwards travel, the Magyars and Shivados as they're known. Shivado the backwards travel. He's a graduate of management science, Axel Ogis. He certainly managed the occasion a treat there. Handled the pressure most credibly. It's a weight for Dominic Cunningham. It's not a weight he'll want. It's going to be a tough old score to stare at. It's the final rotation in the men's team final. Great Britain chasing the Russian Federation. Dominic Cunningham will at least have that mark deduction and more for a couple of dismounts. One mark per fall a gymnast takes from the apparatus does add up fast. For Cunningham, 11.466. Down by almost a couple of marks from his qualification score, as one might expect. So a lot now resting on young Joe Fraser. In his first senior year, he was the British champion on the horizontal bar. The British will be looking for a championship-style performance now from Fraser. And they are getting it. Flair and style in the one-arm giant swing. Very big dismount coming up, and a wonderfully secure display from Joe Fraser that brings the Hydro alive and many of the fans on their feet. That's a super response by Joe Fraser. After it started in a troublesome way, with Dominic Cunningham having a couple of nasty moments on the bar, Joe Fraser steps up and steadies the ship, and that's a really nice moment between the two gymnasts. Cunningham coming over and just saying thank you very much indeed, teammate. 13.733 for Axel Ogis. They're having rather a lot of fun, the French. They've given us a lot of fun as well. Noah Siefer on the floor for Switzerland. So many nations in contention for a bronze medal. We won't really be able to get a clear sense of these permutations until I think we see the final scoreboard. Switzerland will certainly feel they're part of the chasing pack. Really just Spain and Italy that would struggle to get into bronze contention. Certainly handling the pressure of the occasion, this teenager. Noah Siefer, 13 his score on floor. Battle for bronze, now back to the battle for gold. 13.9, Joe Fraser's score, up by a tenth from the qualification mark. The last gymnast to compete for Great Britain on the men's horizontal bar, James Hall. Took the silver in this event at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. And he's down as well. It's not happening for Great Britain on the high bar. They really have been an absolutely super force in this team final. It looks as though, as the Kovac went awry for Hall, it looks as though the Russian Federation are going to be in control. Oh, feeling every moment. Feeling every moment. Cunningham, Fraser, Tullett, Whitlock watching on. Must be so difficult to be a team gymnast in this occasion. There's nothing you can do for your teammate. They're a long, long way away from you. This is a very fine recovery indeed from James Hall. Real character, real style. Really well recovered, James Hall. And that is the final display of a British gymnast in this final, and a little moment of appreciation between James Hall and the Hydro crowd. Cyril Thomassone competing for France on the pommel horse, the nation who are holding the bronze position as per the end of the last rotation. He's a real veteran, Thomassone, the 31-year-old. Looking very calm here. Super flares. Effortless transition into the Russian vendor swing. Just a little bit piped. Can he recover? He most certainly can. Oh, what a reaction from the sidelines. What gymnastics on the sidelines from the French. As Cyril Thomassone delivered a wonderful routine. The Mediterranean Games pommel horse champion. What a useful gymnast to have ready to perform for you on this piece of apparatus. And they loved every moment. 14.666 for Cyril Thomassone. It's the only piece that he's competed on, and it's mighty. James Hall receiving a bit of medical attention. 12.466 his score. A bit of trouble with the left arm. Due to compete in the bar final, James Hall. So at the moment, Great Britain lead, France 2, Switzerland 3, Italy 4. But we still have 4 teams. And that is very, very good news indeed for the French. Still to come though, Turkey. Turkey will push really, really hard. But the pommel was their weakest piece of apparatus in qualifying. Ahmed Shemelog. He's the veteran, the 37-year-old. He started everything, but he stopped now. And that, you would have to say, is Turkey's brave and highly impressive challenge for a medal coming to an end. But my word, they've entertained us. And they have developed so much as gymnasts in the last few years. Alias Hegan, the Slovenian gymnastics coach, who's done wonders in Turkey. And this is a bit of a struggle here for Shemelog. It's been a tough conclusion to the competition for Turkey. They led the way at one point. It's over to the Russian Federation. It's over to David Bilyavsky. He has 13 medals at European level in total. Certainly going to add to it, but with what colour? For the Russian Federation here, just going through this clean is the order of business. Don't need to take enormous risks. Not lovely close control work. Super entertaining stuff from Bilyavsky. He dismounts wonderfully. Just the tonic, just the sort of start that the Russian Federation needed. It's looking like a matter of moments now for the Russian Federation in the battle for Team Gold. France are watching on and waiting. Cyril Thomassone, the gymnast wearing bib 357, who delivered a wonderful display on the pommel horse. 10 the score for Shemelog. Sadly, not a perfect 10. Those days long gone in gymnastics, and the sort of score that will not bring Turkey a bronze medal. Andreas Brettschneider on the floor for Germany. looking to work towards a strong finish for Germany. They're in 5th place at the conclusion of the last rotation. Just a tiny stumble on the dismount from Brettschneider. Gymnast who's done so well to rebound from a difficult 2017. A couple of shoulder surgeries for him. 13.066 for David Bieliawski. And that's the kind of score that's going to bring Russia a little bit closer to the gold medal, to 3 in a row. Nikolai Kuksenkov. He's had a couple of years of really bad injury. The ever-present shoulder troubles that these gymnasts have. My word, what a fighter. What a hard-working athlete. And some lovely close control work. It just makes it look so effortless. How fascinating. The Russian Federation struggled on the high bar in qualifying. They have been steady as a rock thus far in the final. That's a great moment for Nikolai Kuksenkov. Everyone on the team, coaches, his fellow gymnasts say, this guy is the worker. He's the hardest fighting, hardest working, most disciplined gymnast of all of them. He sets the standard. He deserves that moment. Andreas Brettschneider, 13.3 on the floor. Germany now the challengers, trying to push with Marcel Nguyen to challenge the French for bronze. How useful it is to have a gymnast like the 30-year-old Nguyen to be able to rely upon at key moments. It's a wonderful demonstration of the diagonal armed handstand. After all of his many injury struggles, he said, pain is temporary, pride is forever. Marcel Nguyen can look at this experience and look back on it with absolute pride. It's a 13.566 for Nikolai Kuksenkov of the Russian Federation. Surely just a matter of time now. Nikita Nagorny just needs to hold on. Keep it simple, and it will be gold. He's supremely controlled, Nikita Nagorny. makes the most of the mixed grip. There's been a couple of those. One-arm giant swing, looks lovely. What a battle it's been! What a battle it's been, and what a team final! But that will do it. That will most certainly do it. The Russian Federation have not had it all their way, but they will occupy top spots at the end when all the mathematics have been completed. Nikita Nagorny, he's got a tattoo on his ribs that says "Salve me y garde me," save and protect me. Well, he certainly saved and protected his teammates with that display. 13.633 for Nguyen. Really good finish for Germany. What will that mean in terms of the overall score? We shall find out in just a moment. France are pretty convinced that it's going to be the bronze medal for them. We'll bring you confirmation of all of this in a moment. Turkish flags flying, as well they should be, because Turkey have been wonderfully entertaining. Celebrations between Russian and British gymnasts who pushed each other to the limit in a glorious men's team final. The spirit of team gymnastics so very alive in the hydro. Still don't have a score for Nikita Nagorny, but it is going to be a good enough score for gold. The judges playing their part in just keeping us all guessing, trying to create a little suspense. It's a 13.966 for Nikita Nagorny. The party can start now for the Russian Federation. Champions in 2014, champions in 2016, champions once again here in the hydro. 3 in a row for the Russian Federation. It's a wonderful silver medal for Great Britain, another silver medal at continental level for these gymnasts. 3 silvers in a row for Great Britain.
What a competition, what an amazing afternoon. We have one thing still.
And so nearly. There were moments when it looked as though it was going to be a gold. But the Russian Federation really held their nerve just delightfully on the horizontal bar. Confirmation of Great Britain's second place. Yes, they can celebrate now, the French. That is their bronze medal assured. They've got a bronze medal in 2010, the French, and Cyril Thomassonnet, who delivered such an important display on the pommel horse for the French, was part of that group. He's the only one of these that has known team success in the Euros. Now they all do, because it's France bronze, Great Britain silver and Russian Federation gold at the conclusion of a thrilling men's team final in the sport of artistic gymnastics at the European Championships of 2018. Lovely atmosphere here in the SSE Hydro on the banks of the River Clyde. It's a lovely walk along the river to get to this arena. There's always a sense of activity about the river. A lot of the gymnasts have been going out for walks and runs and bike rides along the river in between sessions to get themselves ready for another day's competition. They've enjoyed the setting a great deal, and I hope you have enjoyed it as well. We look back at the moments of this wonderful session. the European Championships of Artistic Gymnastics at the Hydro in Glasgow. And we will have the team medal ceremony in the men's competition coming up in a matter of moments, so do please stay with us to enjoy that, to join in the celebrations here in the Hydro. Wonderful competition. It kept us guessing right until the end. As often is the case in a team competition, you get little mini battles starting to happen here and there. Russian Federation and Great Britain were joined by Turkey for a while in a battle for gold. And Turkey will learn so very much from that experience.
You guys have been absolutely amazing.
Ultimately, they fell away and rather disappeared, having mounted such a good challenge, and that left the door open for France to come through and take a well-deserved, a richly deserved bronze medal. A very engrossing battle for the bronze. And we have so much super gymnastics to come tomorrow in the individual apparatus finals. That will be the final day of gymnastics competition at Glasgow 2018. All 6 individual pieces for the men: the floor, the pommel, the rings, the vault, the parallel bars and the horizontal bar, to bring our coverage to a close. And I'm sure you'll be eagerly tuning in to watch that tomorrow afternoon, Glasgow time. And it's a city that has wonderfully hosted these championships. They've really embraced the spirit of the European Championships.
Are you ready to make some noise?
It's time now for the victory ceremony and the awarding of medals in the men's team competition in the Artistic Gymnastics European Championships of 2018. And the introduction of the presentation party.
The medals and gifts will be presented by UEG President Farid Gaibov, President of the UEG Men's Technical Committee Tom Thingbold, Leader of Glasgow City Council, Councillor Susan Aitken. Winner of the bronze medal, France.
Great display from France to take their first bronze medal and their first medal since 2010 in the European Team Championships.
Cyril Thomasson, Loris Frasca and Edgar Boulet. Winner of the silver medal, Great Britain.
Silver medalists for the third championships in a row. A really impressive Great Britain team that have enormously entertained the crowd here in the Hydro. And they were given rather a lift by their 6th teammate, the Glasgow crowd.
Represented by Dominic Cunningham, James Hall, Max Weaver, Courtney Turk, and Joe Fraser. Russian Federation.
Champions for the third European Championships in a row, the Russian Federation. They had a real battle on their hands from so many different teams, but right at the end, held their nerve so impressively on the piece of apparatus that threatened to be their undoing after qualification. It was not. They were steady on the bar, steady as a rock. European champions once again.
Nikolai Kusenko, Nikita Nagorny, Artur Dalaloyan, and Dmitry Lankin.
The presentation of the medals. The French team, Axel Ogis, Edgar Boulet, Loris Frasca, Julien Gobot, Cyril Thomasone. The British team, Dominic Cunningham, Joe Fraser, James Hall, Courtney Tullett, Max Whitlock. The Russian team, David Bilyavsky, Artur Dalaloyan, Nikolai Kusenkov, Dmitry Lankin, Nikita Nagorny. Russian Federation following in the footsteps of the junior team that took gold in the men's junior competition. And indeed, the women's team counterparts from last weekend. And it will now be time for the national anthem of the Russian Federation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Russian Federation.
Medalists in the men's team competition at the Artistic Gymnastics European Championships in Glasgow 2018.
Well, goodness me, what an afternoon of gymnastics. Spectacular by anybody's standards. Your nerves, I'm sure, are afraid, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, it must have been moving.
Absolutely amazing. We have 3 European Championship medalists on the stage right now who fought their way right through to the very, very end.
Marvellous competition, wonderful gymnastics, and a team final that really kept things very alive and interesting right up until the very end. It's exactly what you want from a team competition. That's exactly what they wanted. The French have come away with a medal, first time since 2010. The Russian Federation clutching those lovely medals designed by Touch of Ginger. The triangular pattern has a ribbon on it that contains a crystal, creating a rainbow design. The representation of all the sports coming together at this competition. And the Russians have the colour that they most desperately wanted. It's another gold.
So our final congratulations to our members. Russian Federation, the new European team champions. Great Britain, winning silver, and France of gold. Welcome to the hall.
So the athletes are getting their final pictures. I can see people up in the stands getting their final pictures as well. Well, for just now, Glasgow, thank you so much. You've been an amazing crowd for our team finals here at the European Championships. Thank you so much for your support during the day. We wish you a safe journey home, and we'll see you tomorrow for the apparatus finals. Thank you, and goodbye.
The conclusion of the men's team competition at Glasgow 2018. France with the bronze, Great Britain the silver, the Russian Federation the gold. On to tomorrow's individual apparatus finals.